All's Well That Ends Well by William Shakespeare. Act I Scene I Rouselin, the Count's Palace. Be thou blessed, Bertram, and succeed thy father in manners as in shape. Thy blood and virtue contend for empire in thee, and thy goodness share with thy birthright. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Be able for thine enemy rather in power than use, and keep thy friend under thy own life's key. Be checked for silence, but never taxed for speech. What heaven ma will, that thee may furnish and my prayers pluck down, fall on thy head. Farewell, my lord, 'tis an unseasoned courtier, good my lord, advise him. He cannot want the best that shall attend his love. Oh, were that all? I think not on my father, and these great tears grace his remembrance more than those I shed for him. What was he like? I have forgot him. My imagination carries no favor in't but Bertram's. I am undone. There is no living, none, if Bertram be away. 'Twere all one that I should love a bright particular star, and think to wed it. He is so above me. In his bright radiance and collateral light must I be comforted, not in his sphere. The ambition in my love thus plagues itself. The hind that would be mated by the lion must die for love. 'Twas pretty, though a plague, to see him every hour, to sit and draw his arched brows, his hawking eye, his curls in our Hot's table, Hot too capable of every line and trick of his sweet favor. But now he's gone, and my idolatrous fancy must sanctify his relics. Who comes here? Aside, one that goes with him. I love him for his sake, and yet I know him a notorious liar, think him a great way fool, solely a coward. Yet these fixed evils sit so fit in him that they take place, when virtue's steely bones look bleak I the cold wind. Withal, full oft we see cold wisdom waiting on superfluous folly. Not my virginity yet, when there shall your master have 1,000 loves, a mother and a mistress and a friend, a phoenix, captain and an enemy, a guide, a goddess and a sovereign, a counselor, a traitress and a dear. His humble ambition, proud humility, his jarring concord, and his discord dulcet, his faith, his sweet disaster, with a world of pretty, fond, adoptious Christendoms that blinking Cupid gossips. Now shall he, I know not what he shall. God send him well. The cot's a learning place, and he is one, that wishing well had not a body in't which might be felt. That we, the poor bon, whose beza stars do shut us up in wishes, might with effects of them follow our friends, and show what we alone must think, which never return us thanks. Our remedies oft in ourselves do lie, which we ascribe to heaven. The fated sky gives us free scope, only doth backward pull our slow designs when we ourselves are dull. What power is it which mounts my love so high, that makes me see, and cannot feed mine eye? The mightiest space in fortune nature brings to join like likes and kiss like native things. Impossible be strange attempts to those that weigh their pains in sense and do suppose what hath been cannot be. Whoever strove so show her merit, that did miss her love? The king's disease? My project may deceive me, but my intents are fixed and will not leave me. Exit. Scene Room into Paris. The king's palace. The Florentines and Senois are by the ears, have fought with equal fortune and continue a braving war. Nay, 'tis most credible, we here receive it a certainty, vouched from our cousin Austria, with caution that the Florentine will move us for speedy aid, wherein our dearest friend prejudicates the business and would seem to have us make denial. His love and wisdom, approved so to your majesty, may plead for amplest credence. He hath armed our answer, and Florence is denied before he comes, yet, for our gentlemen that mean to see the Tuscan service, freely have they leave to stand on either pot. It well may serve a nursery to our gentry, who are sick for breathing and exploit. It is the Count Rouselin, my good lord, young Bertram. Youth, thou bear'st thy father's face. Frank nature, rather curious than in haste, hath well composed thee. Thy father's moral parts mayst thou inherit too? Welcome to Paris. I would I had that copperal soundness now, as when thy father and myself in friendship first tried our soldiership. He did look far into the service of the time, and was discipled of the bravest. He lasted long, but on us both did haggish age steal on and wore us out of act. It much repairs me to talk of your good father. In his youth he had the wit which I can well observe today in our young lords, but they may jest till their own scorn return to them unnoted ere they can hide their levity in honour. So like a courtier, contempt nor bitterness were in his pride or sharpness. If they were, his equal had awaked them, and his honour, clucked to itself, knew the true minute when exception bid him speak, and at this time his tongue obeyed his hand. Who were below him, he used as creatures of another place and bowed his eminent top to their low ranks, making them proud of his humility. In their poor praise he humbled. Such a man might be a copy to these younger times, which followed well, would demonstrate them now, but go as backward. His good remembrance, sir, lies richer in your thoughts than on his tomb, so in a proof lives not his epitaph as in your royal speech. Would I were with him? He would always say, methinks I hear him now. His plosive words he scattered not in ears, but grafted them, to grow there and to bear. Let me not live. This his good melancholy oft began, on the catastrophe and heel of pastime when it was out. Let me not live, quoth he, after my flame lacks oil, to be the snuff of younger spirits, whose apprehensive senses all but new things disdain, whose judgments are mere fathers of their garments, whose constancies expire before their fashions. This he wished, I after him do after him wish too, since I nor wax nor honey can bring home. I quickly were dissolved from my hive, to give some labourers room. You are loved, sir, they that least lend it you shall lack you first. I fill a place, I note. How long is't, Count, since the physician at your father's died? He was much famed. If he were living, I would try him yet. Lend me an arm, the rest have won me out with several applications. Nature and sickness debated at their leisure. Welcome, Count, my son's no dearer. Scene Roman 3 Roussillon, the Count's palace. A prophet I, madam, and I speak the truth the next way, for I the ballad will repeat, which men full true shall find. Your marriage comes by destiny, your cuckoo sings by kind. Was this fair face the cause, quoth she, why the Grecians sacked Troy? Fond done fond was this King Priam's joy? With that she sighed as she stood, with that she sighed as she stood, and gave this sentence then, among 9 bad if one be good, among 9 bad if one be good, there's yet one good in 10. Even so it was with me when I was young. If ever we are nature's, these are ours. This thorn doth to our rose of youth rightly belong, our blood to us, this to our blood is born. It is the show and seal of nature's truth, where love's strong passion is impressed in youth. By our remembrances of days foregone, such were our faults, or then we thought them none. Her eye is sick on't, I observe her now. You know, Helen, I am a mother to you. Nay, a mother, why not a mother? When I said a mother, methought you saw a serpent. What's in mother, that you start at it? I say, I am your mother, and put you in the catalogue of those that were enwombed mine. 'Tis often seen adoption strives with nature and choice breeds a native slip to us from foreign seeds. You ne'er oppressed me with a mother's groan, yet I express to you a mother's care. God's mercy, maiden? Does it curd thy blood to say I am thy mother? What's the matter, that this distempered messenger of wet, the many-coloured iris, rounds thine eye? Why, that you are my daughter? Pardon, madam, the Count Roussillon cannot be my brother. I am from humble, he from honoured name, no note upon my parents, his all noble. My master, my dear lord he is, and I his servant live, and will his vassal die. He must not be my brother. You are my mother, madam, would you were, so that my lord your son were not my brother, indeed my mother. Or were you both our mothers, I care no more for than I do for heaven, so I were not his sister. Can't no other, but I your daughter, he must be my brother. Yes, Helen, you might be my daughter-in-law, God shield you mean it not. Daughter and mother so strive upon your pulse. What, pale again? My fear hath catched your fondness. Now I see the mystery of your loneliness, and find your salt tears head. Now to all sense 'tis gross you love my son. Invention is ashamed against the proclamation of thy passion, to say thou dost not. Therefore tell me true, but tell me then 'tis so. For look thy cheeks confess it, th one to th other, and thine eyes see it so grossly shown in thy behaviours that in their kind they speak it. Only sin and hellish obstinacy tie thy tongue, that truth should be suspected. Speak, is't so? If it be so, you have wound a goodly clue. If it be not, false wet. Howe'er I charge thee, as heaven shall work in me for thine avail, tell me truly. Go not about, my love hath into bond, whereof the world takes note. Come, come, disclose the state of your affection, for your passions have to the full appeached. Then I confess here on my knee before high heaven and you, that before you, and next unto high heaven, I love your son. My friends were poor, but honest, so's my love. Be not offended, for it hurts not him that he is loved of me. I follow him not by any token of presumptuous suit, nor would I have him till I do deserve him. Yet never know how that desert should be. I know I love in vain, strive against hope. Yet in this captious and untenable sieve, I still pour in the waters of my love and lack not to lose still. Thus, Indian-like, religious in mine era, I adore the sun, that looks upon his worshipper, but knows of him no more. My dearest madam, let not your hate encounter with my love for loving where you do. But if yourself, whose aged honour cites a virtuous youth, did ever in so true a flame of liking wish chastely and love dearly, that your Diane was both herself and love. Oh then, give pity to her, whose state is such that cannot choose but lend and give where she is sure to lose, that seeks not to find that her search implies, but riddle like lives sweetly where she dies. Had you not lately an intent, speak truly, to go to Paris? I will tell truth, by grace itself I swear. You know my father left me some prescriptions of rare and proved effects, such as his reading and manifest experience had collected for general sovereignty, and that he willed me in heedfulst reservation to bestow them, as notes whose faculties inclusive were more than they were in note. Amongst the rest, there is a remedy, approved, set down, to cure the desperate languishings whereof the king is rendered lost. This was your motive for Paris, was it? Speak. My lord your son made me to think of this. Else Paris and the medicine and the king had from the conversation of my thoughts haply been absent then. But think you, Helen, if you should tender your supposed aid, he would receive it? He and his physicians are of a mind, he that they cannot help him, they that they cannot help. How shall they credit a poor unlearned virgin, when the schools, embowelled of their doctrine, have left off the danger to itself? There's something in't, more than my father's skill, which was the greatest of his profession, that his good receipt shall for my legacy be sanctified by the luckiest stars in heaven. And, would your honour but give me leave to try success, I'ld venture the well-lost life of mine on his grace's cure by such a day and hour. Why, Helen, thou shalt have my leave and love, means and attendance, and my loving greetings to those of mine in cot. I'll stay at home and pray God's blessing into thy attempt, be gone tomorrow. And be sure of this, what I can help thee to thou shalt not miss. Exeunt. All's well that ends well. Imprint this ebook is the product of many hours of hard work by volunteers for standard ebooks, and builds on the hard work of other literature lovers made possible by the public domain. This particular ebook is based on a transcription from Massachusetts Institute of Technology and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The source text and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. They may still be copyrighted in other countries, so users located outside of the United States must check their local laws before using this ebook. The creators of, and contributors to, this ebook dedicate their contributions to the worldwide public domain via the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain Dedication. For full license information, see the uncopyright at the end of this ebook. Standard eBooks is a volunteer-driven project that produces ebook editions of public domain literature using modern typography, technology, and editorial standards, and distributes them free of cost. You can download this and other ebooks carefully produced for true book lovers at standardbooks.org. All's Well That Ends Well by William Shakespeare. Uncopyright may you do good and not evil. May you find forgiveness for yourself and forgive others. May you share freely, never taking more than you give. Copyright pages exist to tell you that you can't do something. Unlike them, this uncopyright page exists to tell you that the writing and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. The United States public domain represents our collective cultural heritage, and items in it are free for anyone in the United States to do almost anything at all with, without having to get permission. Copyright laws are different all over the world, and the source text or artwork in this ebook may still be copyrighted in other countries. If you're not located in the United States, you must check your local laws before using this ebook. Standard ebooks makes no representations regarding the copyright status of the source text or artwork in this ebook in any country other than the United States. Non-authorship activities performed on items that are in the public domain, so-called sweat of the brow, work, don't create a new copyright. That means that nobody can claim a new copyright on an item that is in the public domain for, among other things, work like digitization, mock-up, or typography. Regardless, the contributors to this ebook release their contributions under the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain Dedication, thus dedicating to the worldwide public domain all of the work they've done on this ebook, including but not limited to metadata, the title page, imprint, colophon, this uncopyright, and any changes or enhancements to, or mock-up on, the original text and artwork. This dedication doesn't change the copyright status of the source text or artwork. We make this dedication in the interest of enriching our global cultural heritage, to promote free and libre culture around the world, and to give back to the unrestricted culture that has given all of us so much. Table of Contents Landmarks, Act Roman II Sinai Paris, the King's Palace. Farewell, young lords, these warlike principles do not throw from you, And you, my lords, farewell, share the advice betwixt you. If both gain, all the gift doth stretch itself as 'tis received, and is enough for both. 'Tis our hope, sir, after well-entered soldiers, to return and find your grace in health. No, no, it cannot be, and yet my heart will not confess he owes the malady that doth my life besiege. Farewell, young lords, whether I live or die, be you the sons of worthy Frenchmen. Let higher Italy, those bated that inherit but the fall of the lost monarchy, see that you come not to woo honor, but to wed it. When the bravest questant shrinks, find what you seek, that fame may cry you loud. I say farewell. Those girls of Italy, take heed of them. They say, our French lack language to deny if they demand. Beware of being captives before you serve. I am commanded here, and kept a coil with too young, and the next year, and 'tis too early. I shall stay here the far house to a smock, creaking my shoes on the plain masonry, till honor be bought up and no sod won but one to dance with. By heaven, I'll steal away. Then here's a man stands that has brought his pardon. I would you had kneeled, my lord, to ask me mercy, and that at my bidding you could so stand up. I would I had, so I had broke thy pate, and asked thee mercy fought. Good faith, a cross, but my good lord, 'tis thus. Will you be cured of your infirmity? Oh, will you eat no grapes, my royal fox? Yes, but you will my noble grapes, and if my royal fox could reach them. I have seen a medicine that's able to breathe life into a stone, quicken a rock, and make you dance canary with sprightly fire and motion, whose simple touch is powerful to erase King Pepin, nay, to give great Charlemagne a pen in's hand and write to her a love line. Why, Doctor she, my lord, there's one arrived, if you will see her. Now, by my faith and honor, if seriously I may convey my thoughts in this my light deliverance, I have spoke with one that, in her sex, her years, profession, wisdom and constancy, hath amazed me more than I dare blame my weakness. Will you see her, for that is her demand, and know her business? That done, laugh well at me. Now, good laugh you, bring in the admiration, that we with thee may spend our 1 to 2. I'll take off thine by wondering how thou took'st it. Nay, I'll fit you, and not be all day neither. Exit. Nay, come your ways, this is his majesty, say your mind to him. A traitor you do look like, but such trait as his majesty seldom fears. I am Cressid's uncle that dare leave two together. Fare you well. Exit. I, my good lord, Gerard de Narbon was my father, in what he did profess, well found. The rather will I spare my praises towards him, knowing him is enough. On's bed of death many receipts he gave me, chiefly one, which, as the dearest issue of his practice, and of his old experience the only darling, he bade me store up, as a triple eye, safer than mine own too, ma dear. I have so, and hearing your high majesty is touched with that malignant cause wherein the honor of my dear father's gift stands chief in power, I come to tender it and my appliance with all bound humbleness. We thank you, maiden, but may not be so credulous of cure. When our most learned doctors leave us and the congregated college have concluded that laboring art can never ransom nature from her innatable estate, I say we must not so stain our judgment, or corrupt our hope, to prostitute our past cure malady to empirics, or to dissever so our great self and our credit, to esteem a senseless help when help past sense we deem. My duty then shall pay me for my pains. I will no more enforce mine office on you, humbly entreating from your royal thoughts a modest one, to bear me back again. I cannot give thee less to be called grateful, thou thought'st to help me, and such thanks I give as one near death to those that wish him live. But what at full I know, thou know'st no pot, I knowing all my peril, thou know aught. What I can do no hurt to try, since you set up your rest gainst remedy. He that of greatest works is finisher oft does them by the weakest minister. So holy writ in babes hath judgment shown, when judges have been babes. Great floods have flown from simple sauces, and great seas have dried when miracles have by the greatest been denied. Oft expectation fails, and most oft there where most it promises, and oft it hits where hope is coldest and despair most fits. I must not hear thee. Fare thee well, kind maid. Thy pains not used must by thyself be paid. Prophets not took reap thanks for their reward. Inspired merit so by breath is bawd. It is not so with him that all things knows as 'tis with us that square our guess by shows, but most it is presumption in us when the help of heaven we count the act of men. Dear sir, to my endeavors give consent, of heaven, not me, make an experiment. I am not an impostor that proclaim myself against the level of mine aim, but know I think and think I know most sure my art is not past power nor you past cure. Art thou so confident? Within what space hopest thou my cure? The greatest grace lending grace, ere twice the hosses of the sun shall bring their fiery torture his diurnal ring, ere twice in murk and occidental damp moist Hesperus hath quenched his sleepy lamp. Far and 20 times the pilot's glass hath told the thievish minutes how they pass. What is infirm from your sound pots shall fly, health shall live free and sickness freely die. Upon thy certainty and confidence what darest thou venture? Tax of impudence, a strumpet's boldness, a divulged shame traduced by odious ballads. My maiden's name see it otherwise. Nay, worse, if worse, extended with vilest torture let my life be ended. Methinks in thee some blessed spirit doth speak his powerful sound within an organ weak. And what impossibility would slay in common sense? Sense saves another way. Thy life is dear. For all that life can rate worth name of life in thee hath estimate, youth, beauty, wisdom, courage, all that happiness and prime can happy call. Thou this to hazard needs must intimate skill infinite or monstrous desperate. Sweet practiser, thy physic I will try, that ministers thine own death if I die. If I break time, or flinch in property of what I spoke, unpitied let me die, and well deserved. Not helping, death's my fee, but if I help, what do you promise me? Then shalt thou give me with thy kingly hand what husband in thy power I will command. Exempted be from me the arrogance to choose from forth the royal blood of France, my low and humble name to propagate with any branch or image of thy state. But such a one, thy vassal, whom I know is free for me to ask, thee to bestow. Here is my hand, the premises observed, thy will by my performance shall be served, so make the choice of thy own time, for I, thy resolved patient, on thee still rely. More should I question thee, and more I must, though more to know could not be more to trust, from whence thou camest, how tended on, but rest unquestioned welcome and undoubted blessed. Give me some help here, ho, if thou proceed as high as word, my deed shall match thy meed. Flourish, exeunt, scene room into Roussillon, the Count's palace. I play the noble housewife with the time to entertain so merrily with a fool. An end, sir, to your business. Give Helen this, and urge her to a present answer back. Commend me to my kinsman and my son, this is not much. Scene room in 3 Paris. The King's palace. Go, call before me all the lords in court. Sit, my preserver, by thy patient's side, and with this healthful hand, whose banished sense thou hast repealed, a second time receive the confirmation of my promised gift, which but attends thy naming. Fair maid, send forth thine eye. This youthful parcel of noble bachelors stand at my bestowing, all whom both sovereign power and father's voice I have to use. Thy frank election make. Thou hast power to choose, and they none to forsake. To each of you one fair and virtuous mistress fall, when love please. Marry to each but one. I'ld give Bay Kirtle and his furniture. My mouth no more were broken than these boys, and writ as little beard. Peruse them well, not one of those but had a noble father. Gentlemen, heaven hath through me restored the king to health. I am a simple maid, and therein wealthiest, that I protest I simply am a maid. Please it your majesty, I have done already. The blushes in my cheeks thus whisper me. We blush that thou shouldst choose, but be refused. Let the white death sit on thy cheek forever, will ne'er come there again. Make choice, and see, who shuns thy love shuns all his love in me. Now, Diane, from thy altar do I fly, and to imperial love, that God most high, do my sighs stream. Sir, will you hear my suit? The honor, sir, that flames in your fair eyes before I speak, too threateningly replies, love make your fortunes 20 times above her that so wishes and her humble love. My wish receive, which great love grant, and so I take my leave. Be not afraid that I your hand should take, I'll never do you wrong for your own sake, blessing upon your vows, and in your bed find fairer fortune if you ever wed. You are too young, too happy, and too good to make yourself a son out of my blood. To Bertram, I dare not say I take you, but I give me in my service, ever whilst I live, into your guiding power. This is the man. My wife, my liege, I shall beseech your highness, in such a business give me leave to use the help of mine own eyes. Knowst thou not, Bertram, what she has done for me? Yes, my good lord, but never hope to know why I should marry her. But follows it, my lord, to bring me down must answer for your raising? I know her well, she had her breeding at my father's charge. A poor physician's daughter my wife? Disdain rather corrupt me ever. 'Tis only title thou disdain'st in her, the which I can build up. Strange is it that our bloods of colour, weight, and heat, poured all together, would quite confound distinction, yet stand off in differences so mighty. If she be all that is virtuous, save what thou dislikest, a poor physician's daughter, thou dislikest of virtue for the name, but do not so, from lowest place when virtuous things proceed, the place is dignified by the doer's deed. Where great additions swells and virtue none, it is a dropsied honour. Good alone is good without a name. Vileness is so, the property by what it is should go, not by the title. She is young, wise, fair, in these to nature she's immediate heir, and these breed honor. That is honor's scorn, which challenges itself as honor's born and is not like the sire. Honors thrive, when rather from our acts we them derive than our foregoers. The mere words a slave debauched on every tomb, on every grave a lying trophy, and as oft is dumb where dust and damned oblivion is the tomb of honored bones indeed. What should be said? If thou canst like this creature as a maid, I can create the rest. Virtue and she is her own dower, honor and wealth from me. That you are well restored, my lord, I'm glad, let the rest go. My honor's at the stake, which to defeat I must produce my power. Here take her hand, proud scornful boy, unworthy this good gift, that dost in vile misprision shackle up my love in her desert, that canst not dream, we, poising us in her defective scale, shall weigh thee to the beam, that wilt not know, it is in us to plant thine honor where we please to have it grow. Check thy contempt, obey our will, which travails in thy good, believe not thy disdain, but presently do thine own fortunes that obedient right which both thy duty owes and our power claims. Or I will throw thee from my care for ever into the staggers and the careless lapse of youth and ignorance, both my revenge and hate loosing upon thee, in the name of justice, without all terms of pity. Speak thine answer. Pardon, my gracious lord, for I submit my fancy to your eyes. When I consider what great creation and what dole of honor flies where you bid it, I find that she, which late was in my nobler thoughts most base, is now the praised of the king, who, so ennobled, is as Tuia born so. Take her by the hand, and tell her she is thine, to whom I promise a counterpoise, if not to thy estate a balance more replete. Good fortune and the favor of the king smile upon this contract, whose ceremony shall seem expedient on the now born brief, and be performed tonight. The solemn feast shall more attend upon the coming space, expecting absent friends. As thou lovest her, thy love's to me religious, else does exunt all but lawfew and perils. Although before the solemn priest I have sworn, I will not bed her. O my perils, they have married me? I'll to the Tuscan wars, and never bed her. France is a dug-hole, and it no more merits the tread of a man's foot. To the wars? Aye, that would be known. To the wars, my boy, to the wars? He wears his honor in a box unseen that hugs his kicky-wicky here at home, spending his manly marrow in her arms, which should sustain the bound and high curvet of Mars's fiery steed. To other regions France is a stable. We that dwell in't jades, therefore to the war? It shall be so. I'll send her to my house, acquaint my mother with my hate to her, and wherefore I am fled. Write to the king that which I durst not speak. His present gift shall furnish me to those Italian fields where noble fellows strike. War is no strife to the dark house and the detested wife. Go with me to my chamber, and advise me. I'll send her straight away. Tomorrow I'll to the wars, she to her single sorrow. Why, these balls bound, there's noise in it. 'Tis hard. A young man married is a man that's maud, therefore away, and leave her bravely. Go, the king has done you wrong, but hush, 'tis so. Exeunt, scene Roman for Paris. The king's palace. A good knave, I faith, and well fed. Madam, my lord will go away tonight, a very serious business calls on him. The great prerogative and right of love, which as your due time claims he does acknowledge, but puts it off to a compelled restraint, whose want, and whose delay, is strewed with sweets, which they distill now in the curbed time, to make the coming hour offlow with joy and pleasure drown the brim. That you will take your instant leave, O the king, and make this haste as your own good proceeding, strengthened with what apology you think may make it probable need. That, having this obtained, you presently attend his further pleasure. Scene v. Paris. The king's palace. I have writ my letters, casketed my treasure, given order for our horses, and tonight, when I should take possession of the bride, and ere I do begin. Yes, I do know him well, and common speech gives him a worthy pass. Here comes my clog. I have, sir, as I was commanded from you, spoke with the king, and have procured his leave for present parting, only he desires some private speech with you. I shall obey his will. You must not marvel, Helen, at my costs, which holds not colour with the time, nor does the ministration and required office on my particular. Prepared I was not for such a business. Therefore am I found so much unsettled. This drives me to entreat you that presently you take our way for home, and rather muse than ask why I entreat you, for my respects are better than they seem, and my appointments have in them a need greater than shows itself at the first view to you that know them not. This to my mother, giving a letter. 'Twill be 2 days ere I shall see you, so I leave you to your wisdom. Sir, I can nothing say, but that I am your most obedient servant, and ever shall with true observance seek to eke out that wherein toward me my homely stars have failed to equal my great fortune. Let that go. My haste is very great. Farewell, hie home. I am not worthy of the wealth I owe, nor dare I say 'tis mine, and yet it is, but like a timorous thief, most fain would steal what law does vouch mine own. Something, and scarce so much. Nothing, indeed. I would not tell you what I would. My laud, faith, yes, strangers and foes do sunder, and not kiss. Where are my other men, monsieur? Farewell. Exit Helena. Go thou toward home, where I will never come whilst I can shake my sword or hear the drum. Away, and for our flight. Act Roman 3, Scene I, Florence. The Duke's Palace. So that from point to point now have you heard the fundamental reasons of this war, whose great decision hath much blood let forth and more thirsts after. Holy seems the quarrel upon your grace's part, black and fearful on the opposer. Therefore we marvel much our cousin France would in so just a business shut his bosom against our borrowing prayers. Good my lord, the reasons of our state I cannot yield, but like a common and an outward man, that the great figure of a council frames by self-unable motion, therefore dare not say what I think of it, since I have found myself in my uncertain grounds to fail as often as I guessed. But I am sure the younger of our nature, that surf it on their ease, will day by day come here for physic. Welcome shall they be, and all the honours that can fly from us shall on them settle. You know your places well, when better fall, for your avails they fell tomorrow to the field. Flourish, exeunt, scene Roman 2 Roussillon. The Count's Palace, reads, I have sent you a daughter-in-law, she hath recovered the king and undone me. I have wedded her, not bedded her, and sworn to make the not eternal. You shall hear I am run away, know it before the report come. If there be breadth enough in the world, I will hold a long distance. My duty to you? Your unfortunate son, Bertram. This is not well, rash and unbridled boy, to fly the favours of so good a king, to pluck his indignation on thy head by the misprizing of a maid too virtuous for the contempt of empire. Think upon patience. Pray you, gentlemen, I have felt so many quirks of joy and grief, that the first face of neither, on the start, can woman me untaught. Where is my son, I pray you? Madam, he's gone to serve the Duke of Florence. We met him thitherward. For thence we came, and after some dispatch in hand at caught, thither we bend again. Look on his letter, madam, here's my passport. Reads, when thou canst get the ring upon my finger which never shall come off, and show me a child begotten of thy body that I am father to, then call me husband. But in such a then, I write a never. This is a dreadful sentence. I, madam, and for the content's sake are sorry for our pain. I prithee, lady, have a better cheer. If thou engrossest all the griefs are thine, thou robb'st me of a moiety. He was my son, but I do wash his name out of my blood, and thou art all my child. Towards Florence is he? Such is his noble purpose, and believe it, the Duke will lay upon him all the honour that good convenience claims. Reads, till I have no wife I have nothing in France. 'Tis bitter. Nothing in France until he have no wife. There's nothing here that is too good for him but only she, and she deserves a laud that 20 such rude boys might tend upon and call her hourly mistress. Who was with him? A servant only, and a gentleman which I have sometime known, a very tainted fellow, and full of wickedness. My son corrupts a well-derived nature with his inducement. Indeed, good lady, the fellow has a deal of that too much, which holds him much to have. You're welcome, gentlemen. I will entreat you, when you see my son, to tell him that his sod can never win the honour that he loses. More I'll entreat you written to bear along. We serve you, madam, in that and all your worthiest affairs. Not so, but as we change our courtesies. Will you draw near? Exeunt countess and gentlemen. Till I have no wife, I have nothing in France. Nothing in France until he has no wife? Thou shalt have none, Roussillon, none in France, then haste thou all again. Poor Laud, is't I that chase thee from thy country, and expose those tender limbs of thine to the event of the non-sparing war? And is it I that drive thee from the spot of cot, where thou wast shot at with fair eyes, to be the mock of smoky muskets? O you leaden messengers, that ride upon the violent speed of fire, fly with false aim, move the still-peering air, that sings with piercing, do not touch my Laud. Whoever shoots at him, I set him there. Whoever charges on his forward breast, I am the caitiff that do hold him taut. And though I kill him not, I am the cause his death was so affected. Bet atwere I met the raven lion when he rawed with sharp constraint of hunger. Bet atwere that all the miseries which nature owes were mine at once. No, come thou home, Roussillon, whence honour but of danger wins a scar, as oft it loses all. I will be gone. My being here it is that holds thee hence. Shall I stay here to dot? No, no. Although the air of paradise did fan the house and angels officed all, I will be gone, that pitiful rumour may report my flight, to consolate thine ear. Come night, end day, for with the dark, poor thief, I'll steal away. Exit. Scene Roman 3 Florence, before the Duke's Palace. The general of our host thou art, and we, great in our hope, lay our best love and credence upon thy promising fortune. Sir, it is a charge too heavy for my strength, but yet will strive to bear it for your worthy sake to the extreme edge of hazard. Then go thou forth, and fortune play upon thy prosperous helm as thy auspicious mistress. This very day, great Mars, I put myself into thy file, make me but like my thoughts, and I shall prove a lover of thy drum, hater of love. Exeunt. Scene Roman for Roussillon. The Count's palace. Alas, and would you take the letter of her? Might you not know she would do as she has done, by sending me a letter? Read it again. Reads, I am St. Jack's pilgrim thither gone. Ambitious love hath so in me offended, that barefoot plod I the cold ground upon, with sainted vow my faults to have amended. Write, that from the bloody cause of war my dearest master, your dear son, may high, bless him at home in peace, whilst I from far his name with zealous fervour sanctify. His taken labours bid him me forgive. I, his despiteful Juno, sent him forth from courtly friends, with camping foes to live, where death and danger dogs the heels of worth. He is too good and fair for death and me, whom I myself embrace to set him free. Ah, what sharp stings are in her mildest words. Rinaldo, you did never lack advice so much as letting her pass so. Had I spoke with her, I could have well diverted her intents, which thus she hath prevented. Pardon me, madam, if I had given you this at overnight, she might have been autan, and yet she writes, pursuit would be but vain. What angel shall bless this unworthy husband? He cannot thrive, unless her prayers, whom heaven delights to hear and loves to grant, reprieve him from the wrath of greatest justice. Write, Rinaldo, to this unworthy husband of his wife. Let every word weigh heavy of her worth that he does weigh too light. My greatest grief, though little he do feel it, set down sharply. Dispatch the most convenient messenger. When haply he shall hear that she is gone, he will return, and hope I may that she, hearing so much, will speed her foot again, led hither by pure love. Which of them both is dearest to me? I have no skill and sense to make distinction. Provide this messenger. My heart is heavy and mine age is weak. Grief would have tears, and sorrow bids me speak. Exeunt. Scene v. Florence, without the walls. A tucket afar off. To St. Jack's le Grand. Where do the Palmers lodge, I do beseech you? I, Mary, ist, a much afar. Hawk you? They come this way. If you will tarry, holy pilgrim, but till the troops come by, I will conduct you where you shall be lodged, the rather, for I think I know your hostess as ample as myself. Here you shall see a countryman of yours that has done worthy service, but by the ear that hears most nobly of him, his face I know not. Whatsoma he is, he's bravely taken here. He stole from France, as 'tis reported, for the king had married him against his liking. Think you it is so? There is a gentleman that serves the count reports but costly of her. Oh, I believe with him, in argument of praise, or to the worth of the great count himself, she is too mean to have her name repeated. All her deserving is a reserved honesty, and that I have not heard examined. Alas, poor lady, 'tis a hard bondage to become the wife of a detesting lord. I warrant, good creature, wheresoever she is, her heart weighs sadly. This young maid might do her a shrewd turn if she pleased. How do you mean? Maybe the amorous count solicits her in the unlawful purpose. He does indeed, and brokes with all that can in such a suit corrupt the tender honor of a maid, but she is armed for him, and keeps her God in honestest defense. That is Antonio, the duke's eldest son, that Escalus, he that with the plume. 'Tis a most gallant fellow. I would he loved his wife. If he were honester he were much goodlier. Is not a handsome gentleman? 'Tis pity he is not honest. Yon's that same knave that leads him to these places. Were I his lady, I would poison that vile rascal. The troop is past. Come, pilgrim, I will bring you where you shall host. Of enjoined penitence there's 4 or 5 to great St. Jack's bound, already at my house. I humbly thank you. Please it this matron and this gentle maid to eat with us tonight. The charge and thanking shall be for me, and to requite you further, I will bestow some precepts of this virgin worthy the note. Scene vi camp before Florence. Now will I lead you to the house, and show you the loss I spoke of. That's all the fault. I spoke with her but once and found her wondrous cold, but I sent to her, by this same coxcomb that we have I the wind, tokens and letters which she did resend, and this is all I have done. She's a fair creature, will you go see her? Scene Roman 7 Florence, the widow's house. If you misdoubt me that I am not she, I know not how I shall assure you further, but I shall lose the grounds I work upon. Though my estate be fallen, I was well born, nothing acquainted with these businesses, and would not put my reputation now in any staining act. Nor would I wish you. First, give me trust. The count he is my husband, and what to your swan counsel I have spoken is so from word to word. And then you cannot, by the good aid that I of you shall borrow, err in bestowing it. I should believe you, for you have showed me that which well approves your great infortune. Take this purse of gold, and let me buy your friendly help thus far, which I will overpay and pay again when I have found it. The count he woos your daughter, lays down his wanton siege before her beauty, resolved to carry her, let her in fine consent, as will direct her how 'tis best to bear it. Now his impotent blood will not deny that she'll demand a ring the county wears, that downward hath succeeded in his house from son to son, some 5 descents since the first father wore it. This ring he holds in most rich choice, yet in his idle fire, to buy his will, it would not seem too dear, howe'er repented after. Now I see the bottom of your purpose. You see it lawful. Then, it is no more, but that your daughter, ere she seems as one, desires this ring. Appoints him an encounter, in fine, delivers me to fill the time, herself most chastely absent, after this, to marry her, I'll add 3,000 crowns to what is past already. I have yielded, instruct my daughter how she shall persevere, that time and place with this deceit so lawful may prove coherent. Every night he comes with musics of all sorts and songs composed to her unworthiness. It nothing steads us to chide him from our eaves, for he persists as if his life lay on't. Why then tonight let us essay our plot, which, if it speed, is wicked meaning in a lawful deed and lawful meaning in a lawful act, where both not sin, and yet a sinful fact, but let's about it. Exeunt. Act Roman fa scene I without the Florentine camp. I know you are the Musco's regiment, and I shall lose my life for want of language. If there be here German, or Dane, Low Dutch, Italian, or French, let him speak to me. I'll discover that which shall undo the Florentine. The general is content to spare thee yet, and, hoodwinked as thou art, will lead thee on to gather from thee. Haply thou mayst inform something to save thy life. Oh, let me live, and all the secrets of our camp I'll show, their fosse, their purposes, nay, I'll speak that which you will wonder at. Accato linta, come on, thou art granted space. Exit with perils guarded, a shot alarum within. Go, tell the Count Roussillon and my brother we have caught the woodcock, and will keep him muffled till we do hear from them. Will betray us all unto ourselves, inform on that. Scene room into Florence, the widow's house. Titled Goddess, and worth it with addition, but fair soul, in your fine frame hath love no quality? If quick fire of youth light not your mind, you are no maiden, but a monument. When you are dead, you should be such a one as you are now, for you are cold and stern, and now you should be as your mother was when your sweet self was got. No, my mother did but duty, such, my lord, as you owe to your wife. No more o' that, I prithee, do not strive against my vows. I was compelled to her, but I love thee by love's own sweet constraint, and will forever do thee all rights of service. Aye, so you serve us till we serve you, but when you have our roses, you barely leave our thorns to prick ourselves and mock us with our banners. 'Tis not the many oaths that makes the truth, but the plain single vow that is vowed true. What is not holy, that we swear not by, but take the heist to witness. Then, pray you, tell me, if I should swear by God's great attributes, I loved you dearly, would you believe my oaths when I did love you ill? This is no holding, to swear by him whom I protest to love, that I will work against him. Therefore your oaths are words and poor conditions, but unsealed, at least in my opinion. Change it, be not so wholly cruel. Love is holy, and my integrity ne'er knew the crafts that you do charge men with. Stand no more off, but give thyself unto my sick desires, who then recover. Say thou art mine, and ever my love as it begins shall so persevere. I see that men make ropes in such a scar that will forsake ourselves. Give me that ring. I'll lend it thee, my dear, but have no power to give it from me. It is an honor longing to our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy I the world in me to lose. Mine honor's such a ring, my chastity's the jewel of our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy I the world in me to lose. Thus your own proper wisdom brings in the champion honor on my part, against your vain assault. Here, take my ring, my house, mine honor, yea, my life, be thine, and I'll be bid by thee. When midnight comes, knock at my chamber window. I'll ought to take my mother shall not hear. Now will I charge you in the band of truth, when you have conquered my yet maiden bed, remain there but an hour. Naw, speak to me, my reasons are most strong, and you shall know them when back again this ring shall be delivered. And on your finger in the night I'll put another ring, that what in time proceeds may token to the future our past deeds. Adieu till then, fail not. You have won a wife of me, though there my hope be done. For which live long to thank both heaven and me? You may so in the end. My mother told me just how he would woo, as if she satins hot. She says all men have the like oaths. He had sworn to marry me when his wife's dead, therefore I'll lie with him when I am buried. Since Frenchmen are so braid, marry that will, I live and die a maid. Only in this disguise I think no sin to cozen him that would unjustly win. Exit. Scene Roman 3. The Florentine camp reads. When he swears oaths, bid him drop gold, and take it. After he scars, he never pays the scar. Half won his match well made, match, and well make it. He ne'er pays after debts, take it before. And say a soldier, Diane told thee this, men are to mell with, boys are not to kiss. For count of this, the count's a fool, I know it, who pays before, but not when he does owe it. Thine, as he vowed to thee in thine ear perils. Yet am I thankful, if my heart were great, 'twould burst at this. Captain, I'll be no more, but I will eat and drink and sleep as soft as captain shall. Simply the thing I am shall make me live. Who knows himself a braggart, let him fear this, for it will come to pass that every braggart shall be found an ass. Rust, sod, cool, blushes, and perils live safest in shame. Being fooled by foolery thrive. There's place and means for every man alive. I'll after them. Exit. Scene Roman 4. Florence. The widow's house. That you may well perceive I have not wronged you, one of the greatest in the Christian world shall be my surety, for whose throne 'tis needful. Ere I can perfect mine intents to kneel time was, I did him a desired office, dear almost as his life, which gratitude through flinty Tata's bosom would peep forth, and answer, thanks. I duly am informed his grace is at Marseilles, to which place we have convenient convoy. You must know, I am supposed dead, the army breaking, my husband hies him home, where, heaven aiding, and by the leave of my good lord the king, will be before our welcome. Gentle madam, you never had a servant to whose trust your business was more welcome. Nor you, mistress, ever a friend whose thoughts more truly labor to recompense your love. Doubt not but heaven hath brought me up to be your daughter's dower, as it hath fated her to be my motive and helper to a husband. But, O strange men, that can such sweet use make of what they hate, when saucy trusting of the cozened thoughts defiles the pitchy night. So lust doth play with what it loathes for that which is away. But more of this hereafter. You, Diana, under my poor instructions yet must suffer something in my behalf. Let death and honesty go with your impositions, I am yours upon your will to suffer. Yet, I pray you, but with the word the time will bring on summer, when briars shall have leaves as well as thorns, and be as sweet as sharp. We must away, our wagon is prepared, and time revives us. All's well that ends well. Still the fine's the crown, whate'er the cost, the end is the renown. Exeunt. Scene v. Roussillon, the Count's Palace, Act v. Scene I. Marseilles, a street. But this exceeding posting day and night must wear your spirits low. We cannot help it, but since you have made the days and nights as one, to wear your gentle limbs in my affairs, be bold you do so grow in my requital as nothing can unroot you. In happy time, this man may help me to his majesty's ear, if he would spend his power. God save you, sir. I do presume, sir, that you are not fallen from the report that goes upon your goodness, and therefore, goaded with most sharp occasions, which lay nice manners by, I put you to the use of your own virtues, for the which I shall continue thankful. That it will please you to give this poor petition to the king, and aid me with that store of power you have to come into his presence. Not, indeed, he hence removed last night and with more haste than is his use. All's well that ends well yet, though time seems so adverse and means unfit. I do beseech you, whither is he gone? Marry, as I take it, to Roussillon, whither I am going. I do beseech you, sir, since you are like to see the king before me, commend the paper to his gracious hand, which I presume shall render you no blame, but rather make you think our pains for it. I will come after you with what good speed our means will make us means, and you shall find yourself to be well thanked, whate'er falls maw. We must to hoss again. Go, go, provide. Exeunt. Scene Roman 2. Roussillon, before the Count's Palace. Scene Roman 3. Roussillon, the Count's Palace. We lost a jewel of her, and our esteem was made much poorer by it, but your son, as mad in folly, lacked the sense to know her estimation home. 'Tis past, my liege, and I beseech your majesty to make it natural rebellion, done I the blaze of youth, when oil and fire, too strong for reason's false, awe bears it and burns on. My honoured lady, I have forgiven and forgotten all, though my revenges were high bent upon him, and watched the time to shoot. This I must say, but first I beg my pardon, the young lord did to his majesty, his mother and his lady offence of mighty note, but to himself the greatest wrong of all. He lost a wife whose beauty did astonish the survey of richest eyes, whose words all ears took captive, whose dear perfection hearts that scorn to serve humbly called mistress. Praising what is lost makes the remembrance dear. Well, call him hither, we are reconciled, and the first view shall kill all repetition. Let him not ask our pardon, the nature of his great offence is dead, and deeper than oblivion we do bury the incensing relics of it. Let him approach, a stranger, no offender, and inform him so 'tis our will he should. Then shall we have a match. I have letters sent me that set him high in fame. I am not a day of season, for thou mayst see a sunshine and a hail in me at once. But to the brightest beams distracted clouds give way, so stand thou forth, the time is fair again. My high repented blames, dear sovereign, pardon to me. All is whole, not one word more of the consumed time. Let's take the instant by the forward top, for we are old, and on our quickest decrees the inaudible and noiseless foot of time steals ere we can effect them. You remember the daughter of this lord? Admiringly, my liege, at first I stuck my choice upon her. Ere my heart durst make too bold a herald of my tongue where the impression of mine eye in fixing, contempt his scornful perspective did lend me, which warped the line of every other favour, scorned a fair colour, or expressed it stolen, extended or contracted all proportions to a most hideous object. Thence it came that she whom all men praised and whom myself, since I have lost, have loved, was in mine eye the dust that did offend it. Well excused, that thou didst love her, strikes some scars away from the great compt, but love that comes too late, like a remorseful pardon slowly carried, to the great sender turns a sour offence, crying, "That's good, that's gone." Our rash faults make trivial price of serious things we have, not knowing them until we know their grave, oft our displeasures, to ourselves unjust, destroy our friends, and oft to weep their dust our own love waking cries to see what's done, while shame full late sleeps out the afternoon. Be this sweet Helen's knell, and now forget her. Send forth your amorous token for fair Maudlin, the main consents are had, and here we'll stay to see our widower's second marriage day. Which better than the first, O dear heaven bless. Ah, ere they meet in me, O nature, cess. Come on, my son, in whom my house's name must be digested. Give a favour from you to sparkle in the spirits of my daughter, that she may quickly come. Bertram gives a ring. By my old beard, and every hair that's on't, Helen, that's dead, was a sweet creature. Such a ring as this, the last that ere I took her at caught, I saw upon her finger. Now, pray you, let me see it, for mine eye, while I was speaking, oft was fastened taut. This ring was mine, and when I gave it Helen, I bade her, if her fortunes ever stood necessitied to help, that by this token I would relieve her. Had you that craft, to relieve her of what should stead her most? My gracious sovereign, howe'er it pleases you to take it so, the ring was never hers. Son, on my life, I have seen her wear it, and she reckoned it at her life's rate. You are deceived, my lord, she never saw it, in Florence was it from a casement thrown me, wrapped in a paper, which contained the name of her that threw it. Noble she was, and thought I stood engaged, but when I had subscribed to mine own fortune and informed her fully I could not answer in that cause of honour as she had made the overture, she ceased in heavy satisfaction, and would never receive the ring again. Plutus himself, that knows the tinct and multiplying medicine, hath not in nature's mystery more science than I have in this ring. 'Twas mine, 'twas Helen's, whoever gave it you. Then, if you know that you are well acquainted with yourself, confess 'twas hers, and by what rough enforcement you got it from her. She called the saints to surety that she would never put it from her finger, unless she gave it to yourself in bed, where you have never come, or sent it us upon her great disaster. Thou speakst it falsely, as I love mine honour, and makest conjectural fears to come into me which I would fain shut out. If it should prove that thou art so inhuman, 'twill not prove so, and yet I know not. Thou didst hate her deadly, and she is dead, which nothing, but to close her eyes myself, could win me to believe, more than to see this ring. Take him away, God sees Bertram. My forepost proofs, howe'er the matter fall, shall tax my fears of little vanity, having vainly feared too little. Away with him, we'll sift this matter further. If you shall prove this ring was ever hers, you shall as easy prove that I husbanded her bed in Florence, where yet she never was. Exit, guarded. Gracious sovereign, whether I have been to blame or no, I know not. Here's a petition from a Florentine, who hath for 5 removes come shot to tender it herself. I undertook it, vanquished thereto by the fair grace and speech of the poor suppliant, who by this I know is here attending. Her business looks in her with an imparting visage, and she told me, in a sweet verbal brief, it did concern your highness with herself. Reads, upon his many protestations to marry me when his wife was dead, I blush to say it, he won me. Now is the Count Roussillon a widower. His vows are forfeited to me and my honours paid to him. He stole from Florence, taking no leave, and I follow him to his country for justice. Grant it me, O king. In you it best lies, otherwise a seducer flourishes, and a poor maid is undone. Diana Capulet. The heavens have thought well on thee, Lafeu, to bring forth this discovery. Seek these suitors, go speedily, and bring again the count. I am afeard the life of Helen, lady, was foully snatched. I wonder, sir, sith wives are monsters to you, and that you fly them as you swear them lordship, yet you desire to marry. I am, my lord, a wretched Florentine derived from the ancient Capulet, my suit, as I do understand, you know, and therefore know how far I may be pitied. I am her mother, sir, whose age and honour both suffer under this complaint we bring, and both shall cease without your remedy. My lord, I neither can nor will deny but that I know them. Do they charge me further? If you shall marry, you give away this hand, and that is mine. You give away heaven's vows, and those are mine. You give away myself, which is known mine. For I by vow am so embodied yours, that she which marries you must marry me, either both or none. My lord, this is a fond and desperate creature, whom sometime I have laughed with. Let your highness lay a more noble thought upon mine honour than for to think that I would sink it here. Sir, for my thoughts, you have them ill to friend till your deeds gain them. Fairer prove your honour than in my thought it lies. Good my lord, ask him upon his oath, if he does think he had not my virginity. She's impudent, my lord, and was a common gamester to the camp. He does me wrong, my lord, if I were so. He might have bought me at a common price, do not believe him. Oh, behold this ring, whose high respect and rich validity did lack a parallel, yet for all that he gave it to a commoner o' the camp, if I be one. He blushes, and 'tis it, of 6 preceding ancestors, that gem, conferred by testament to the sequent issue, hath it been owed and won. This is his wife, that rings 1,000 proofs. Methought you said you saw one here in cot could witness it. I did, my lord, but loath am to produce so bad an instrument. His name's Perils. What of him? He's quoted for a most perfidious slave, with all the spots o' the world taxed and debauched, whose nature sickens but to speak a truth. Am I all that or this for what he'll utter, that will speak anything? I think she has. Certain it is I liked her, and boughted her eye the wanton way of youth. She knew her distance, and did angle for me, matting my eagerness with her restraint, as all impediments in fancy's cause are motives of more fancy, and in fine, her infinite cunning, with her modern grace, subdued me to her rate. She got the ring, and I had that which any inferior might at market price have bought. I must be patient, you that have turned off a first so noble wife, may justly die at me. I pray you yet, since you lack virtue, I will lose a husband, send for your ring, I will return it home, and give me mine again. Sir, much like the same upon your finger. The story then goes false, you threw it him out of a casement. You boggle shrewdly, every feather stars you. Is this the man you speak of? Tell me, sirrah, but tell me true, I charge you, not fearing the displeasure of your master, which on your just proceeding I'll keep off, by him and by this woman here. What know you? Thou hast spoken all already, unless thou canst say they are married. But thou art too fine in thy evidence, therefore stand aside. This ring, you say, was yours? If it were yours by none of all these ways, how could you give it him? Take her away, I do not like her now, to prison with her, and away with him. Unless thou tell'st me where thou hadst this ring, thou deest within this hour, because he's guilty, and he is not guilty. He knows I am no maid, and he'll swear tot, I'll swear I am a maid, and he knows not. Great king, I am no strumpet, by my life, I am either maid, or else this old man's wife. Good mother, fetch my bail. Stay, royal sir, exit widow. The jeweller that owes the ring is sent for, and he shall surety me. But for this lord, who hath abused me, as he knows himself, though yet he never harmed me, here I quit him. He knows himself my bed he hath defiled, and at that time he got his wife with child. Dead though she be, she feels her young one kick, so there's my riddle. One that's dead is quick, and now behold the meaning. Is there no exorcist beguiles the truer office of mine eyes? Is't real that I see? No, my good lord, 'tis but the shadow of a wife you see, the name and not the thing. Oh, my good lord, when I was like this maid, I found you wondrous kind. There is your ring, and look you, here's your letter, this it says. When from my finger you can get this ring, and ah by me with child, etc. This is done, will you be mine, now you are doubly won. If she, my liege, can make me know this clearly, I'll love her dearly, ever, ever dearly. If it appear not plain and prove untrue, deadly divorce step between me and you. Oh, my dear mother, do I see you living? Mine eyes smell onions, I shall weep anon to Perils. Good Tom Drum, lend me a handkercher, so I thank thee, wait on me home, I'll make spot with thee. Let thy courtesies alone, they are scurvy ones. Let us from point to point this story know, to make the even truth in pleasure flow. To Diana, if thou best yet a fresh uncropped flower, choose thou thy husband, and I'll pay thy dower. For I can guess that by thy honest aid, thou keep'st a wife herself, thyself a maid. Of that and all the progress, more or less, resolvedly more leisure shall express, all yet seems well, and if it ends so meet, the bitter past, more welcome is the sweet. Flourish. Colophon All's Well That Ends Well was published in 1602 by William Shakespeare. This ebook was produced for Standard eBooks by Emma Sweeney, and is based on a transcription produced in 1993 by Jeremy Hilton for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. Emendations to the text are provided by Open Source Shakespeare. The cover page is adapted from The Ring, a painting completed in 1911 by John White Alexander. The cover and title pages feature the League Spartan and Sots Mill Gaudy typefaces created in 2014 and 2009 by the League of Movable Type. This edition was released on August 18, 2025, 9:12 p.m., and is based on revision BFBC 5C0. The first edition of this ebook was released on October 18, 2021, 9:15 p.m. You can check for updates to this ebook, view its revision history, or download it for different e-reading systems at standardbooksorg/ebooks/WilliamShakespeare/allswell-the-tenswell. The volunteer-driven Standard eBooks project relies on readers like you to submit typos, corrections, and other improvements. Anyone can contribute at Standard Booksorg. Dramatis Personae King of France Duke of Florence Bertram, Count of Roussillon Lafeu, and Old Lord Perils. A follower of Bertram Steward, servant to the Countess of Roussillon Clown, servant to the Countess of Roussillon, a page Countess of Roussillon, mother to Bertram Helena, a gentlewoman protected by the Countess and old widow of Florence Diana, daughter to the widow Violenta, neighbor and friend to the widow Mariana, neighbor and friend to the widow lords, officers, soldiers, etc. French and Florentine scene, Roussillon, Paris, Florence, Marseille. In notes, this line is incomplete where the subject is cut short. Generally, most editors tend to leave this as is. Edward Capel's editions extend the line so it reads, "Not my virginity yet. Yaw for the caught." Emma Sweeney Wright. Epilogue. The king's a beggar. Now the play is done. All is well ended if this suit be won, that you express content, which we will pay with strife to please you, day exceeding day. Ours be your patience then, and yours our pots. Your gentle hands lend us, and take our hearts. Exeunt.